Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I am delighted to tell you, well, I tell you this with some trepidation as well, that there is a brand new Phistomefel puzzle that has just been released, and that is exactly what I intend to attempt in today's video. It's called Entangled. The rules are very normal, so we've got some Renban lines. Don't worry if you don't know what this means, I will explain it properly when we read the rules together. A diagonal constraint and a killer Sudoku, and that's it. I found it on Logic Masters Germany. It's got, I think, 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and a host of comments saying it's the typical brilliance from this incredible constructor who's been entertaining us now on the channel for years and years, and basically sort of reinventing Sudoku with every puzzle. Just an incredibly genius mind, and it's a pleasure and sometimes a little humbling to do battle with it from time to time. Anyway, I'll read the rules properly in a moment or two's time, yeah, that's what we're going to try and do in today's video. Now, a few things to mention before we kick off. I'm feeling a bit jaded today. I was up very late last night watching the Ryder Cup, which was, I mean, just incredible sport. I will say that the standard of golf was ridiculous, but it did also leave me hankering after a gentler age. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned in my my love of the game, which is built around courtesy and respect, it was that was lacking a little last night. But the golf itself, my goodness, absolutely extraordinary from both teams. I know Europe are ahead, but it wasn't like America played badly. They were incredible as well. Anyway, so that's why I'm feeling a little bit jaded. I don't normally stay up that late. Anyway, what else can I tell you about? We have got on the 1st of October, which is stealing up on us, isn't it? It's approaching quite quickly. A brand new competition over on Patreon. It will launch at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the 1st of October. And did I say August before? I hope I didn't. Oh goodness, that's how late it was. Anyway, here it is. It's by the Skunkworks. An incredible series of puzzles, 68 no less. And you can see the authors there on the right hand side. Panthera was kind enough to zero the league table as well, so some of the later test solves that we were doing have now been removed from the list. And yeah, this is just, it's a wonderful thing. All the puzzles are 5 by 5. I think I've been saying 6 by 6 for some reason, again me mixing up my numbers. And yeah, they're not intended in any one of them to be monstrously hard. Some of them are quite tricky, mind you, so don't think you're going to fly through all of them, but I guarantee that you will enjoy most of them, if not all of them. And as I say, this is going live over on Patreon on the 1st, and the prize, as usual, will be the chance to solve a puzzle with me, which I did with Michael just a couple of days ago. And I've been creating the video from that, which will go live on the channel, I hope, in this coming week. So look out for that. We get to tackle a brilliant puzzle by the wonderful constructor, Cactus Larve. What else? Well, actually, I should talk about worms today, because we're doing a Phistomefel puzzle, and here it is, the Phistomefel worm. So this is a brand new pack of puzzles by Phistomefel. You can see the first one here, and yeah, this is, we've also got a new one out by Juggler, Michael Lefkowitz, to join the worms that's by Marty Sears and by James Sinclair that are already out. So definitely worth checking out. Just go to wherever you get your apps, whether it's Steam or the App Store or Android, and you'll find them there. Now, what else? I've got some birthdays to do today. Let me look at my list of birthdays. Esmeralda, you've turned 52 today. I know this because your friend Anna Marie wrote to us. Anna Marie and Esmeralda have been following us for years and years. 2 long-term supporters of the channel. I've met Esmeralda. We had a lovely lunch with her in London a couple of years ago now. And I think the two of you used to solve our Patreon rewards together, but I'm not sure that's still happening. I think life has got in the way of that. But Esmeralda, I hope you have a brilliant 52nd birthday today, and many happy returns. I hope the chocolate cake is good. And Anna Marie, I think the Sudoku you sent, I think Mark did look at it and found it very hard. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not sure it's become a video actually. But anyway, next birthday, Franco. Franco, you've turned 27 today, and I know this because your girlfriend Nikki wrote to us. I think the two of you are over in Hamburg, but if I'm not mistaken, Franco is from Honduras originally. And I think you've got a lot of fun planned for your birthday today. The two of you are doing a treasure hunt with some of your friends around the neighbourhood, so that does sound like a very cool thing to do. And Franco, I hope you have a brilliant birthday. I hope there's some chocolate cake in store during the treasure hunt. Many happy returns. Also turning 27 today is Louisa, and I know this because your husband Ekrem wrote to us. The two of you use the videos for two different things. Sometimes you like to see puzzle solving. Sometimes you like to sleep. My soporific voice apparently has that effect. But anyway, Louisa, I hope you have a great birthday today, and I hope there is some chocolate cake. And then finally, Tyler. Tyler, you've turned 20 today, and I know this because your mum Michelle wrote to us. Apparently you love the challenge of solving the puzzles. Well, that's exactly like me then, Tyler. That's what I do. I love the challenge of solving puzzles. I love the puzzles themselves. What a great treat they are each and every day. And Tyler, I hope you have a great 20th birthday today. Now, let's do this. Let's have a go at the latest puzzle from the great Phistomefel. Entangled is the name of it, and the rules are... Oh, it says normal killer Sudoku rules apply. Okay, so that's going to be normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. And then the killer cages, actually there's nothing too complicated about them. Those 3 digits have to sum to 13. Oh, I almost can't see that one. That is a 15 cage. It can't be a 5 cage, can it? So that's going to be a 15 cage, a 12 cage. So just make sure the digits in that cage, for example, sum to 12. 15 here, 13, 15, 14, 16, 13, I think. Now, the 2 main diagonals each contain every number from 1 to 9 exactly once. So those digits there cannot repeat, would be a way of expressing that rule. So they have to be a set of the digits 1 to 9, and so do the digits on the negative diagonal here. It's called the negative diagonal because in a graph of y against x, this would have a negative gradient. So that's why it has the name. This is the positive diagonal, just in case I slip into terminology. And then the cells on a purple line contain a set of non-repeating consecutive digits, but not necessarily in order. So if this was a 1, then these digits would have to be 1, 2, 3, because they have to form a consecutive set. But they don't have to go 1, 2, 3. They could go 1, 3, 2. They can be in any order you like. Just make sure they're consecutive. And they are all of the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, normally there are some things I can see here, but they're not useful for solving the puzzle. It's very symmetrical. I mean, in the sense that if we were to draw actually, I can probably do that. If I draw a line... Oh, no, I can't. I'm too in it. Oh, no, I really can't. Well, if I draw that line, and we imagine the grid sort of folded along that crease I've just drawn in, you can see that it's incredibly symmetrical. Almost every piece of grid furniture would map exactly onto a friend on the other side of the grid. Now, it is true to say that those are not the same number, and these are not the same number. But apart from that, there's not a lot of asymmetry going on, which implies that when you get symmetrical puzzles, or puzzles that you perceive to be symmetrical, it's often worth repeating logic. So if, for example, we find some logic to do with that cage, it's probably, or to cage that line, it's probably going to be worth thinking about that line as well on the other side and trying to do the logic again with this line, because sometimes we'll find that the logic can repeat across the symmetry. But having said that, the other thing I'm seeing here is, I mean, if you think about the average size of a Sudoku digit, it's 5, isn't it? The digits 1 to 9, the average size is 5. And therefore a 3-cell cage would have an average value of 15 if it contained 3 average digits. And that's a 16, which is very close to 15. That's a 14, also very close. I mean, 13 is slightly low. 12 is the least averagey cage, but it's not deeply unaverage, is it? Ooh, don't know. I don't know really what's going on here. The only other thing that immediately I am cognizant of, but I'm not seeing how to use it at all, is that a 3-cell Renban will always contain digits that are 0 mod 3, i.e. the sum of the digits on this pink line will be exactly divisible by 3. And the reason we know that is, imagine the medium value on this line is x. Then we know that the other 2 digits will be, or could be expressed algebraically as x plus 1 and x minus 1. And obviously if we sum x plus 1 plus x minus 1, we get 3x, which is obviously therefore divisible by 3. I mean, so the secret is telling us, I mean, this is fatuous, but I'm just speaking as I see things, but I don't think they're useful. The secret is something I share with only my very favourite people, but of course, if you're watching this video, you're one of my favourite people, so I will tell you. The secret of Sudoku is that any box of the Sudoku, because of the rules of Sudoku, contains the digits 1 to 9 once each. And if you sum those digits, those green digits there, they sum to 45. That is the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. Now 45 is divisible by 3. That line we've just said is divisible by 3. So those 6 digits are divisible by 3, but 13 definitely isn't divisible by 3. It is 1 mod 3, so those digits are going to be 2 mod 3 in order to make the overall box balance. No, I mean, I'm just, when I get a puzzle that I don't know what to do with, the other thought I'm now having is this a set-based puzzle? Because there is a trick with a diagonal. If a puzzle has this diagonal constraint, you can prove that there must be one of every digit in the Phistomefel ring. And if there isn't, there can only be one digit missed out. And if there is a missed out digit, it will go in the middle of the puzzle. That is a provable thing. But, well, I mean, it's called the Phistomefel ring, but I don't see how to use it here. Sorry, the Phistomefel ring is a theorem that I will prove, if necessary, that explains that those green cells around the middle box, these ones here, there are 16 of them, they are the exact same digits as the 16 2x2s in the corner of any Sudoku. But as I say, if you also have a puzzle that has this diagonal constraint or an anti-knight constraint, then the green cells, and by extension the yellow cells, have to include one of every type of digit. So one of the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Except there could be one digit missed out. So imagine there was no 9 in the yellow cells and therefore no 9 in the green cells. Then there would have to be a 9 in the middle of the puzzle. And I can prove that. And I will prove that if I can see any reason to use that fact. That's not it, is it? Sorry. I'm trying to think of what to do, and I'm failing, aren't I? Okay, well let's try the 3-cell Renbans then, because at least that digit I can see is a bit restricted in terms of where that digit can go in box 8. because it can't repeat on its own pink line, and it certainly can't repeat in its own row. So that digit is definitely in one of those cells. Is there some reason it can't go on this Renban? Imagine that's a middly digit. If that's a 5, let's say they were 6 and 7. I'm just playing around with numbers here. I'm not doing this so that if this had 5 on it. No, I mean, it could certainly have a 6 or a 7 on it, couldn't it, if that was there? So it could be 4, 5, 6. Or it could be 3, 4, 5. Or it could not have a 5 on it at all, and the 5 would be in here. I mean, yes, there are going to be some considerations to do with making sure the 12 cage were... Oh, okay, so maybe that's it. I mean, certainly that can't be a 1. If this was a 1, those 3 digits would be 1, 2, 3, and then there would be no way to constitute the 12 cage, because it couldn't have any of these 3 digits in it, and all of these 3 cells see the whole of that Renban. And so this would be a minimum of 4, 5, 6, which is 15. But if this was... Yeah, you see that? Okay. What that does is it limits this cell to being not 1. But I think it can be 2. If that was a 2, and this was 2, 3, 4, then obviously 2, 3, and 4 are not in the 12 cage, but that could be 1, 5, 6. So I think, yeah, this is weird. Okay, so so what I'm concluding there is that this digit is not really under pressure, because it seems to be it can't be 1, but it could be 2, and therefore it will be able to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, because they're putting absolutely no pressure on the 12 cage. So all we're actually getting is that neither of those cells is a 1. I suppose you can't put 1 on here either, can you? That's going to give you the same problem with those. If there was a 1 on this Renban, or that Renban for that matter, this 13 cage would be impossible, because it would be constituted again from at least 4, 5, 6, which is 15's worth of digits. So 1 in... Yeah, but that's not... So 1 can't be there. Is it roping? Does that have to... I don't think this is true either, but I'm just wondering whether or not that's a 13 cage, that's a 13 cage. Are they going to have the same constituents? No. Okay, that's not true. That's mildly interesting. So what I'm looking at there is I'm saying... let's think of a way of making 3, 4, 6. If this was 3, 4, 6, it would add up to 13. Let's just put that in. Is it possible that is also 3, 4, 6? So these 13 cages constituted the same way. Now the answer to that is no, because by Sudoku, if these digits were the identical digits to those, then obviously they would go in these 3 cells by Sudoku in box 7. But look what happens here now. Those digits, obviously they have nothing in common with the green digits, so where do they go in box 4? They have to go there. This is what we call roping. And now those digits would have to go there. And why is that a problem? Well, now we can use our maths to help us. Because look at box 1. These 3 orange digits are definitely divisible by 3, because they are on this 3-cell Renban in box 7. Those 3 digits are definitely divisible by 3, because they're on a different 3-cell Renban in box 1. So these 6 digits now are definitely in total divisible by 3. But this isn't. But the whole box is. So this can't be right. So I am now able to say, without fear of contradiction, let's get rid of all of this nonsense, that this does not map entirely to that. So, no, I was about to say maybe there has to be something in common, but no. If those digits were, if there were no digits in common between these cages, then we would know the minimum sum of those 6 digits would have to be at least 21, wouldn't it? Because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 21. But actually, they are adding up to 26, so that's absolutely fine. And, oh, wait a moment, okay, that's mildly interesting. Yeah, so actually we can say that there's no, so what I was trying to prove originally is, well, what I was looking at originally is whether that 13 cage was the same as that 13 cage, which would have caused roping. I can actually now say there is no roping at all in the first 3 columns, because imagine now we know that these greens do not go all in there. Well, imagine they go all in here, which I thought was going to be possible, but it's not. Because then we'd have this roping pattern, and where would these digits go in this box? Those 3 digits there would have to go by Sudoku in these 3 digits, and that's not going to work, because they definitely don't add up to 13. 13 is not divisible by 3. So actually, so now what are we saying? So now we're saying that this 13 cage does have digits in common. Yeah, that whatever's in this cage. Hang on, what does this mean? sorry. Whatever's in this cage doesn't entirely go there, so must have some overlap with this 13 cage. But it's not a total overlap. We've proved that because we've proved these digits are not equal to these digits. It can't be a 2-cell overlap, can it? Imagine, because then it will be a 3-cell overlap. I mean, imagine this was 3, 4, 6 again. If we're claiming that 2 of those digits go in this 13 cage, it wouldn't matter which 2 we picked. The 3rd digit by maths would have to go in as well. If we say 3 and 4 are mirrored here, then the 3rd digit will obviously be 6 in order to make the maths work. So actually there is 1 digit in common between that 13 and that 13. So let's just think about that then. So there's 1 digit here. Let's call it orange. And 2 digits that are not in this cage. So orange is definitely in one of those 3. I mean, orange might not be here, but I'm just trying to think this through. So orange goes down there. Green can't go there, doesn't go in here. We've proved that. So 2 of these, let's make it those 2, are green. Let's make those 2 green by Sudoku. So yeah, okay. That is interesting, actually. That is interesting. Because now we can ask how many digits there are in common between these Renbans. And I think the answer is 2, actually. There's an overlap of 2 digits. Because if there wasn't, well, I mean, I think it's as simple as saying, where do those 3 digits go in this box? Now we know that these 3 digits don't go in there, because then there would be roping, and we've proved there is no roping. So one of them, in order for these to find a home in this box, one of them has to go there, and so two of them must be in there. That's the only place they can go. And that means there are two, so this box here is made up of one orange and two yellows, which means by Sudoku, two of the digits on this Renban go on this Renban. So now that is very interesting. Don't mock me for being the world's most uninteresting man. No, it is interesting, isn't it? Because, well, definitely the two overlapping digits. Well, neither of these Renbans can be 1, 2, 3. We've already looked at that because that's going to break the 13 cage. So I'm just trying to think of these 6 Renbanic cells. The minimum they could have contained would have been 1, 2, 3, and 4. If one of them had been a 1, 2, 3 triple and one of them had been a 2, 3, 4 triple, then they would have had a 2, 3 overlap, wouldn't they? And we know that's wrong, because then you couldn't put 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the 13 cage, because if let's say that one was 1, 2, 3 and that one was 2, 3, 4, you can see the entire sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4 is seen by this cage. So I think this is going to be problematic for a lot of things. So if these were 2, 3, 4, 5, that doesn't work. Because how are you going to make 13 here now? If you can't use any of the digits 2, 3, 4, 5, you could put a 1 in there. Fine. What are the other 2 digits? They would be at least 6 and 7, and that adds up to 14. So that's wrong. So it's not that. So 3, 4, 5, 6 is wrong. That's wrong for a different reason. I really hope something works, because I don't know what I've got wrong with the logic if nothing works. But the reason this is wrong is this 13 cage is now broken. Because I know that the middle 2 digits are shared, aren't they, between these Renbans. So that means 4 and 5 go in here. And what's the other digit that I'd have to put in to add up to 13 with 4 and 5? Well, it's going to be another 4, and that will break Sudoku. So that's wrong. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, that's going to put 2, 5, 6 here. Now, does that somehow work? Maverick's about to fly over, by the way. Sorry if there's a little bit of aeroplane noise. So if we can't use 4, 5, 6, or 7 in here, we know 5. We know that there would actually be a 2 in here, don't we? Yeah, that's a bit weird, because remember that there is one common digit between this cage and this cage, which is what I'm calling orange. But we know that by Sudoku, these 2 squares would be a 5, 6 pair, so there's a 2 there. So 2 has to appear up here. I mean, the positions of these 2s might be total nonsense, but the principle is... Oh, whoa, that's an interesting thing to happen. What did that do? But anyway, but there must be... It's not the yellow digit that's repeating over here, it's the orange digit. So 2 is in here, along with 2 digits that would sum to 11. That would not... Well, okay, so at least that gives us an option for how this works. Because there is only... That does work, but only if that was 3, 8. Because we need 2 digits that sum to 11 that don't repeat the 2, so we can't use 2, 9. And that don't use any of 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we couldn't use 5 and 6, and we couldn't use 4 and 7. So this works. So does anything larger than that work? Because if it doesn't, we are home and hosed there. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's going to work as well. Oh, no, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work because of this one. Oh, this is it. It's beautiful. It's Phistomefel. So, yeah, because look now, what's the commonality? The common digits between these two strings. One of them is 5, 6, 7. The other is 6, 7, 8. Because they share exactly 2 digits. So they share the middle 2 digits, which is 6 and 7. They have to go there, and the other digit would be a 0. That's impossible. So so anything bigger is going to break this cage. So the only thing that works is 4, 5, 6, 7. This has 5 and 6 in it and a 2. This is 2, 3, 8. And I think we must dispense with our colours. And the reason we must dispense with it is I don't know where the orange one goes in here, and I'll get confused very quickly. But we do know, well, what do we know? I know 2 is down there. That's something I do know. I know that 3 and 8 are over here by Sudoku, so 3 and 8 are down here by Sudoku. And, oh dear, is this all I know? Oh, how Bobbins-worthy would that be? And the answer is quite Bobbins-worthy. Oh, no, no. Okay, so the other digit. So there's a 4 or a 7 on this Renban. And that's going to go over there. So these digits are from 3, 8, 4 and 7 and definitely include 3 and 8. But now, in this column, I've effectively got a 4, 5, 6, 7 quadruple and a 3 and an 8. So these digits at the bottom of column 3 are 1, 2 and 9. And these digits are 3 and 8 and 1 of 4 and 7. And these digits definitely include 1s and 9s. And also 1 digit from 4 and 7. So 1, 9, 4, 7 is what we're looking at there. Okay, so that's made a pretty pattern. Well, we know, hang on. We know that's not a 1. We looked at that right at the start. If this is 1, this line is 1, 2, 3, and there's nothing to put in the 12 cage that's going to be remotely helpful. But we thought that could be a 2. That's 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 5, 6 can go in there. That's rotten. Well, okay, let's work out why 9 doesn't work then. So if 9 goes here, this would be a 7, 8 pair. 9, 7, 8. Adding up to 24. So with 3 more digits adding up to 12, that would take those 6 different digits to adding up to 36. So there would have to be 3 digits that weren't in that set that add up to 9, and there are lots of ways of doing that. In fact, there are lots of ways of doing that. Bobbins, right, so we don't know that then. Well, okay, so we know that if this is 2, that's a 3, 4 pair, and if this is 9, this is a 7, 8 pair. So there are a few limitations to this. No. Oh no, I thought I could see a reason this couldn't be 7, 8 because I spotted this 16 cage. But no, if that had 9 in it, in fact it would have to have 9 in it. If that's 7, 8 and this didn't have 9 in it, the only digits available would be 4, 5 and 6, and they only add up to 15. So if this is 7, 8, you'd have to put a 9 in here along with 2 digits that add up to 7. And there are 3 ways of doing that. Bobbins. Okay. Now, we know that digit was in that little foursome as well, don't we? We worked that out. That digit's got to go in one of those. So if that was 2, this might be it. Right. So if that's 2, can you put it on this Renban? The answer's clearly no, isn't it? Because if you do, the options for this Renban are, it can't be the same constituents as this Renban exactly. Because if this was 2, 3, 4 and this was 2, 3, 4, those 4 digits would only be selected from the 3 digits 2, 3 and 4, so one of them would repeat. So if 2 is on this Renban is 1, 2, 3, and that breaks the 12 cage. So if this is 2, it doesn't go over here. Now if this is 9, this is 7, 8, and you can't put 9 over here because again this Renban would have the exact same composition as this one, and we get a digit repeated. So yellow doesn't go on here, definitely. So whether this is 2 or 9, it's in one of those 2 cells. I was wondering if I could... I mean, if it's 2, then you can't put 1 on that Renban, because it would need a 2 on it. No, okay. I don't know. Oh, I haven't thought about the diagonals recently. Let's think about the diagonals. No, let's not. That's horrendous. Alright, let's think about symmetry then. Have we got the same... No, I don't think we do, actually. Well, I was going to try and do the logic that we did over this side, over here, but it doesn't look as easy to do it. I mean, I can say one thing, which is totally fatuous, which is it's definitely not the case that that Renban has the same composition as that Renban. That's definitely true. Because if this and this were the same, well, we'd have roping, but also these 3 digits should be divisible by 3, and they're not. So so is this right? So let's do this again. Can I just disprove roping? Because I've just disproved that version of roping. But if it was that version of roping, is that easily disprovable? No. Yes. Yes. No. That's very bad. That's very bad logic by me. And yes, it is disprovable for a very simple reason, which is that 15 is not equal to 13. A knowledge bomb from Cracking the Cryptic. But sorry, I mean it's really very obvious. This if there is roping of this sort, these 3 digits, where do they go in box 3? And the answer is there by Sudoku. And that would imply 13 equals 15, which it definitely doesn't. So sorry, that's... Well, I mean, sorry, but it is now a sound conclusion to say there is no roping in these 3 columns. Now... Right, so what does that mean? So it means that whatever is on this Renban, which is clearly not in those cells, clearly can't be in those 3 cells because we've just disproved roping. So either... So what we've now got is that there is some commonality between this Renban and this Renban, definitely. Because again, if there was no commonality, then orange, if there was no commonality, orange and green are completely different. So orange would go here, and there's roping, which we've just proved is impossible. So there is commonality, but we don't know whether it's the same commonality we had here, where there was a double digit overlap, or it's a 1 cell overlap. So if it was a 1 cell overlap, well, it couldn't be this, but just as an example, if this was 1, 2, 3, and there was a 1 cell overlap between these 2 Renbans, then this would be 3, 4, 5, and obviously, I mean, that's obviously going to break the 15 cage. Which actually might be an interesting question. Yeah, that is an interesting question. That is an interesting question. How does that ever work? How does that ever work? That is an interesting question. So right, I think we can generalise. So, as Maverick flies over again, Maverick, why does Maverick always fly over when I'm about to have to do thinking? Yeah, so what I'm trying to sort of imagine in my mind is the digits 1 to 9 set out in front of me, and I'm going to take a slice of 5 of them. And wherever I cut that slice, so they're either going to be, there's only very few options, aren't there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are the options. Now, for each of those options, how are we making this 15 cage work? Well, that 15 cage has nothing in common with the 5-cell sequence. So it's going to have to be entirely made up of the other digits, the digits that are not in the 5-cell slice. So let's think that through. So if there is a 1 in this so if this sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these digits are selected from 6, 7, 8, and 9. Well, we can't make 3 of those add up to 15. That's definitely wrong. Now, what would happen on the other hand if, let's try and do this properly. I don't think it's going to work. This is 2, 3, 4, so we're saying that there's 1 overlap, so this becomes 5, 6, 7. Now I've got to make these add up. No, I was going to say that I've taken too many digits away there. I've got no digits to work with. I should have 4 digits to work with. If this is 2, 3, 4, this is 4, 5, 6, the options for these squares are 1, 7, 8, 9. I've got to pick 3 of them. I can't only pick 2 of them. I can't pick the 7 and the 8 only. I've got to pick 3 of them. It won't work. And if we go up again, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, now these are made up entirely of 1, 2, 8, and 9. I've got to pick 3 of them again. It won't work, will it? And if I go 4, 5, 6 here, 6, 7, 8 there, then I've got 9, 1, 2, 3 as the options. And that won't work. Again, 9 plus 2 plus 3 is not enough. And if we go to the very top end of the sequence and we go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, these digits are only selected from 1, 2, 3, 4. It won't work. There's no way. There's no way that works. So actually, it's an identical situation to this side. There is a double overlap. There's a double overlap between this Renban and this Renban. And again, we can immediately rule out 1, 2, 3, 4, because this then would be at least 5, 6, 7, which is 18. So, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but you can see that's definitely wrong. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Could that work? See, that feels workable to me. It puts 3, 4, 6 in here because the 3 and the 4 are common between whichever one of these is 2, 3, 4 and whichever one of these is 3, 4, 5. So 3 and 4 go in here along with a 6 to make 13. And this could have a 1 in it, and then 2 digits that add up to 14, which could be 6 and 8. I'd be quite surprised if that isn't right. But that's not the same as logically proving it must be right. Well, I can rule this one out, because this one's got 4 and 5 in common, and that's going to put 4, 5 in there, along with a second 4, so that's definitely wrong. And this one's the same. Right, this is exactly the same as this one. So this, that would put 5, 6, 2 in here. Oh, that doesn't work. It's beautiful. Because this becomes 562, there must now be a 2 in here by Sudoku, along with 2 digits that add up to 13. Well, which ones are we going to pick, given we can't use 4, 9, 5, 8, or 6, 7? No, not having that won't work. So this is... Okay, so it's not that. So could it be 5, 6, 7, 8? I don't think it can be, but let's check it out. No, that doesn't work, because that's putting 6 and 7 in here again, along with a 0. So it is. It's really beautiful. This is so clever. It's so clever. Now, so we now know this is 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 3, 4, 6. 6 now goes in here, along with 2 digits that add up to 9, which probably have to be 1 and 8. Yeah, they do, because everything else is ruled out by the fact that 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5 are not available. So now 7 and 9 have to be in those cells. So 7 and 9 have to be in these cells. And 7 and 9 have to be in those cells. All of those things are true. 1 and 8 have to be in these cells. So 1 and 8 have to be in these cells. So, no, 6 has to be... that's important. Look, where's 6 at the bottom of this column? It can't go there by Sudoku, so that's actually 6, 7, 9. So it works the same way. You get like a triple at the bottom of the internal-most column that actually gets resolved, and these squares are going to be 1, 8, and an extreme digit, which is 2 or 5, and these are going to be 1, 8, and an extreme digit, and these are going to be 7, 9, and an extreme digit. So now this must get resolved, surely. What does that mean? How are we meant to think this? Well, hang on. If that's 9 now, surely I run out of room. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not certain that's true. 7, 8. No, you do. You do run out of room, actually. That's lovely. This is such brilliant setting. It's just extraordinary what this man can do with numbers. Right, if this is 9, 7, 8, obviously if this is 9, in fact let me show you. What I'm seeing is this Renban's going to have 6 and 5 on it, and that means there's no way of making these 3 cells add up to 12. Because if this is 9 and this is therefore 7, 8, this is not 9 now. We've got to work out how we can constitute this Renban. It's got quite a high digit on it, look. A 6 or a 7. Now it could be 7, but then these 2 cells would have to be 6 and 5, because we can't put 8 on the Renban. Or it could be 6, and it could go 6, 5, 4. That would be another way of doing it. But either way, 6 and 5 are definitely on this Renban. And then we're left with the question. We've only got 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s left from a Sudoku perspective that can go on this Renban. Or can go in this cage, excuse me. And even if we take the 3 biggest, they won't add up to 12. So I think what we're... Now, I've got to be very careful here, because otherwise I'm going to... This is now... Let's restore the 9, but this is 2. These squares are 3 and 4. This 12 cage hasn't got 2, 3, or 4 in it, so it is 1, 5, 6. This is not a 6 anymore. Now, can we do Sudoku? Probably not, but we'll try. That is not 1 or 5. That is not 5 or 2. This is an 8, apparently. That seems to have just emerged from the fog. Not literally from the fog, but emerged from the thingy. Where's 9? Where's 9 in the row? There is the answer. That's huge, because now that has to be 7, 8. These 2 squares have to be 2, 9, which are these winged digits. There might have been a different way of proving that, But I proved it for this one. Maybe I could have proved it for that one as well, but I didn't think to look for that. So now... Ah, no. Yeah, okay, so now let's have a look at the middle column and have a think about how this works. I think this Renban at the top is going to put a lot of pressure on how we fill these cells. I don't think this can be a 9, because if it's a 9, these two cells have to add up to 6 to make 15, and they can't use 2. So this would be 9. This cage would be 159. Now, why is there a problem with that? Well, how are we going to make this Renban work if 1, 5 and 9 are not available? There are ways, but they're both broken. This could be 2, 3, 4, but it can't. There's a 2 in the column. Or it could be 6, 7, 8. But if this is 1, 5, 9, that's a 6 at the bottom of the column. So 6, 7, 8 is also invalid. So that's 2. That's 9. So these squares now add up to 13 without using 9. So they're either 5, 8 or 6, 7. And that might be important. Which one? 5, 8 would be more difficult. If this was 5... Oh, hang on, that doesn't work either. How could that be 5, 8? It's exactly the same problem. I've now got to come up with a 3-cell sequence that doesn't use 2, 5, 8 or 9. There are none. There are simply none. So that's definitely wrong. That must be 6, 7, and this is a low sequence. It's 3, 4, 5. It's got to be the numbers between 2 and 6, and there have to be 3 of them. So this digit at the bottom of the column is a 1 by Sudoku, because 5 and 6 have appeared in the column. Where's 8 in the column? The answer is there. This is not 8. This is not 8. In case this is going to matter. 8 is in one of those 3 cells by Sudoku using this. So is 7, actually. I've got a 7, 8 here, and I've got a 7, 8 there. Where's 6? Is that 6, 7, 8? I don't know. I don't think I know which one of those is 6. Can that be 7, 8? If that was 7, 8, that would be a 1. I've not used the... Look, we can actually we can get rid of 9 from these squares. I was going to say I haven't used the diagonals at all. That's a 6, 7 pair on the negative diagonal, so that's not 6 or 7. That's not 7. Bobbins. That didn't work. Okay. There's... Oh, look, where's 7 in the bottom row? And the answer is I don't know, but it's certainly in that domino, isn't it? It's got to be on this side. So none of those cells now can be 7. It's going to be Sudoku. Oh, where's 9 in this triple? That's a triple. That's 9. That's 1. One seems to be placed in this box. I don't quite know how that happened, but it seems to truly be placed. I promise I'm looking for what to do next. Let's double click 9s. Can we tell anything about 9s? I think we can say something about 9 in box 2. I don't think it can go over this side, because then these 2 digits... I know if it goes at the top and that was 7... No, I'm wrong. I'm just wrong. Ignore me. Oh, hang on. Where's 9 on this diagonal? 9 can't be there. Where's... Oh, no. Where's 8 on the negative diagonal? That's a much better question. I've got to put 8 on the negative diagonal. Where is it going to go? It can't go in any of those 6 cells. So it's got to be in one of those cells, and that's going to put 8 in the corner. I feel like singing for that, but that's now not an 8. Might be useful. Where's... I don't know. What do we do next? 2 and 3 have been knocked off the negative diagonal here. That could be 2, 3 down there. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. It could be obvious as well at this point. I apologise if I'm being a little bit dense. I certainly am not intending to be. 2, 3, 4, 5 triple in that row. Quadruple, I should say. So that can't be 4. Is that worth pencil marking it? What if it's right? So 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think it is, probably. Just wondering about whether I can do anything with that. I'm not sure. There's, okay, that's now not a, oh, okay, now that might matter. No, I was wondering if that mattered for 9 not being in here, but no, it doesn't. 9 could still be here if this is 7, 8. There is now an 8 in this 16 cage. Yeah, that's a little bit interesting. Look at this 16 cage. It's got 8 in it now by Sudoku, and it needs to have 2 digits in it, therefore, that add up to 8 as well in order to get to 16. Well, they are not 3, 5. So this cage has in it either a 2, 6 pair or a 1, 7 pair, along with the 8. But I've got 6 and 7 here. So this is not the 6 or 7 we're looking for. That must be up there. So these squares are from 8, 6, 7. And that means this square is 1 or 2. And that might do something. That actually felt remotely intelligent, and it's not done anything. Okay. Bobbins. Bobbins is the expression we're looking for. Oh, is it going to be something? It's probably going to be picking a digit like 9 on this on this diagonal. I mean, it could go there. It could go there. I think both options are unfortunately available. Oh, no, I see. Oh, okay, I should have carried on with my 8s. Oh, it's really, it's classic Phistomefel. When you see it, it's like, oh, I see it now. Yeah, look, one of those is an 8. That's a 1, 6, 8 triple. So where's 8 on the positive diagonal? I could have just asked this question immediately. It can't be in those 6 cells, so it's got to be here. Which is going to give me an 8 there. So that's 8, that's 7, that's 7, that's 6. This is good. Yeah, this isn't. Well, it's a little bit good. That 7 sees the 6. There's now a 6 in the middle of the puzzle. So how can we use this? Oh, that gives me a 1 in the top of the grid. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that might do something, mightn't it? This 1, can we use it any further? I'm looking. No, hang on. Oh, I don't know. There probably is a way. 6, 7, 8. Let's try and do some Sudoku in the wings of the puzzle. So we can get rid of 6s from there. We can get rid of 7 from here, 7 from here, 7 from here. This is why I don't like pencil marking this fully. I just find it very difficult to see what is going on. I truly do. Does it? Okay, look at row 8. Where's the 2 in row 8? And the answer is it's in one of those two cells, so that's definitely not a 2. Oh, which we could have done by Sudoku, sorry. Oh, where's 6 in this row? That's got to be a 6. That's just plain old Sudoku. There's a 3-4 pair here. Is that really true? Oh, I tell you what I could have realised, actually. These, remember the original REM bands that we worked out? They were 4, 5, 6, 7, which had always had to have 5 and 6 on both. So that's been a 5 for some time, and I haven't realised that. So that's a 2. So this is a 1. So this is not a 1. These now have to add up to 15. So they don't include 6. That's a 7, 8 pair. That's not 7 anymore at the top of the grid. This isn't a 1. This isn't a 1. Let's see if this goes anywhere. This, no. This, that's getting, that is good. Yeah, that's good. Because now I've got a 3-4 pair here, and I can put 5 in there. So none of these is 5. Oh. Now, if this is 3, 4, 5, we know this is 2, 3, 4, don't we? Because we had to have a difference of 1 between these two REM bands. Now this is a 5 by Sudoku. This is a 1, 8 pair, somehow unresolved. This 5 comes out of that cell. Oh, come on. We must be, I think we're doing better now. That's all I'm going to say. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 5, 7, 9. Can we use the diagonal? We can get rid of 9 from that one. Where is, oh, no, I was about to say I've broken the puzzle, but I haven't. I was going to say where's 1 on the positive diagonal, not realising it was there. Okay. Where is, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure what to ask here. What's a good question? We probably do have to spend more time, don't we, thinking about the diagonals and making sure that I fully address the options. So let's do that. What do we need on this one? We have not put in 3, 4, 5 and 9. So this square is 3, 4, 5 and 9. Now does that resonate with anything? 6, 5, 4. I was wondering whether I had to force a 9 in here, but I don't think there has to be, because I can't put 8 and 7 in it. So if it didn't have 9 in it, how would that be made up? That would be tricky, because we couldn't use 5 and 6. I'm not sure that is possible. 3, 4, 3. No, that doesn't work. Okay, maybe we're meant to look at this diagonal. Where's 9 in the middle box? It's a bit restricted. It's one of 3 places. I strongly suspect it's going to have to be here. I think probably I am going to pay attention to this in a moment. I'm just trying to. So if this was 9, those digits together would add up to 38, wouldn't they? Because we'd have 987 for 24, plus 14 for 38. That would mean the other digits would have to add up to 7, and they'd have to be 1, 2, and 4, and they couldn't be because this one's too big. So 9 cannot go in either of those cells. And this is 9. And therefore, this is not 9. This is not 9. 2, 3, 4, 5 is what we're looking for in the middle box. And this is not 3 or 4. So in this column, this digit is 2 or 6. It can't be 5, look. And... oh no, come on, Simon. Oh, I still don't know what this is. If I knew what this is, I knew what this triple was. And we've just worked out, haven't we, that 9 is in this 14 cage, because if it's not, we have the problem with this square not being able to be 1, 2 or 4. So 9 is it now in those two cells. Along with, I suppose, 2 digits that add up to 5. So that is not a 5 anymore. And the other digit in here is going to be the counterpart of this digit that adds up to 5 with this digit. Now, if this was a 2, there would need to be a 3 in there, and there can't be. So this one is now 3 or 4. And there's a 1 or a 2 in here, along with a 9. And we're very close to figuring this out, but we're not quite there yet. So 6 in this box is right at the top in one of those cells, which means that cell in particular is not a 6. Oh, just going back to this, we had those cells, didn't we? They had to be a 2, 3, 4, 5 quadruple. So that is not a 2. So this has come down now to 1 or 9. That can't be 5 for the same reason. So I've got a 179 triple. Oh, that's useful. That is useful. Because that's going to fix this digit. That's going to have to be an 8. Has that been available some other way? I don't know. I don't know, but because of this 179 triple, that's certainly an 8, so that's a 7. That's huge. That is absolutely huge, because that's going to give me 8 and 6, 5 here on the diagonal. So this is a 2 now. Now I've got a 3, 4 pair on the diagonal, so that is a 7 down there, and that's massive. That is a win for the goodies, because that being 5, 6, 7 makes that 4, 5, 6. And if this is 4, 5, 6, this square becomes a 9, that square becomes a 7, and that square becomes a 1. And now that square becomes a 9, which is nearly very nice. But this is now a 7, that's a 5, oh no, that's a 9 by Sudoku. Let's be careful. Now, come on. How do we finish this now? That became a 7. Did that do some things? It got rid of 7. So this is now 149 triple. This doesn't include 4 anymore. And this column should be done with this 2. Yeah, that's a 6. So that's a 6. That's a 5. This is a 1, 2 pair, and the 1 in the corner is lovely. So 1, 2, 4 by mathematics. These squares are now a 3 and a 5. We probably need to avail ourselves. Oh no, we don't. 3, 4, 5 still on the negative diagonal, unresolved. That's outrageous. What about that 4 then? That seems to make that a 9. And this can't be a 4. So in these squares we've got, we have got 2, 3, 6, 7. That's distressing. Right, so that's not 9. This is a 1, 4 pair. That is a 1, 8 pair. There's a 4, 5 there, so that should be a 6. 5 here means this is 3 or 4. Yeah, I'm just going to have to pick the digits off slowly but surely. That being a 4 makes this a 3 on the positive diagonal, which that is useful. So 3, 2. It didn't do everything though. The 3 does though. 4, 5, 3. 4, 2, 5, 4, and that's on the negative diagonal. Oh, that's good, because that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Yeah, so we've only got the middle piece to do now. And that 3 in the corner gives us a 5 in the middle box, which is presumably going to help us disambiguate some of them. Yeah, this is good. This is working. 8, 1. That's no longer 8. This is now a 7. That's a 3. That's an 8. This row must be done. 2, 5, 7, 9. This is a 6. It's naked. 2. That's probably a 3, and that's probably a 6. That's fantastic. What a fantastic puzzle. It's truly original. This stuff in these, I didn't know what to do at the start, but the fact that this arrangement, if you like, limits the overlaps between two such remote REM bands is weird. It is weird and quite wonderful. And then the way it extends, so that you can start to see into the mind of the genius, can't you? Because you can see how Phistomefel has found this, and then used these REM bands here to sort of propagate the logic into the middle 3 columns. Yeah, so these, it's very much a puzzle. You do the wings first, and then you use that to get you into this column, and then the diagonals didn't do anything until about that stage when they suddenly, let's just check it's right. It is right. That's good. Look, it's only been out for 2 days. It's already had so many solves. Fantastic, fantastic. I loved it as usual. And I'm always relieved to get through a Phistomefel. So let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Maverick's about to fly over again.